on, Vandy fans. This is Andrew Allegretta, voice of the Commodores. Your home for Vanderbilt Athletics is 102.5 The Game and 94.9 The Fan. You can catch every football, men's and women's basketball, and baseball game right here. Plus, don't forget about the Commodore Hour every Monday night at 6 p.m. Anchor down.
I don't know what's going on.
Your sports live here on the new Nashville Sports Network.
Hey, sports fans, it's Blair Durham, longtime fan and supporter of the George Plaster Show. This season is unbeatable. Football, fall vibes, and challenging George with his weekly team picks. Go Titans.
If you're looking for fun for the family, look no further than Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers. The bowling is a blast. The people around it make it even better. And you know what? They've got a staff that will make sure you have a good time. So don't wait. Go have some bowling fun at Strike and Spare, the official home of the 4th annual Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. Venture Express has been helping people in this area for more than 40 years. They're headquartered in Murfreesboro with over 30 years of dedicated fleets involving production, manufacturing, and corrugated experiences. They're an asset-based company with over 700 tractors, 4,000 trailers, 800 drivers. If you need their help, dial them up 615-793-9500 or log on to ventureexpress.com.
As the trusted premier custom home builder in Middle Tennessee, Donnelly Timmons has over 20 years of experience in the industry. Whether you're looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and every remodel is unique, luxurious, and completed on time within budget. Founders Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly have over 25 years of construction experience in the Nashville area. Together, they have completed projects in Forest Hills, Oak Hill, Green Hills, Franklin, and Brentwood. Dustin and Joey believe that communication is the most important aspect of all construction projects. Therefore, they personally manage each project themselves and are involved in job site activities on a daily basis. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
This is my buddy Stan Harrison from Apple Collision Centers. Recently, you've been talking to me about companies that have a fleet of trucks and they're always in need of repairs.
That's right.
It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
Well, after the longest rendition of Van Halen's Jump, we welcome all of you into our show. We are at Battleground Academy today in the Cherry Gym for what is the start of what's called the Battle of Nashville. Ironically, the Battle of Nashville is being held in Franklin, and the two teams that are playing right now, Billy, I don't know if we can show people what's going on here, but Brentwood Academy and Hume Fogg are going at it at this very moment. Let's check in with Kelly Holcomb, who is standing by in Murfreesboro. Kelly, hope you had a good Christmas.
I did, George. How about yourself?
It couldn't have been better.
Yeah,
Wonderful
a lot of food,
Christmas.
a lot of family. Yeah, absolutely. It was good.
Good. Excellent. I want you to ponder this question. You ready?
Yes, sir.
I don't want an answer yet. The 3 seed in the AFC, the Baltimore Ravens, played the 4 seed yesterday, the Houston Texans, on Houston's home field. Final score, 31-2. Nice parody.
I agree. I mean, hey, at this time of year, cream rises to the top, and that's what happened. They're going to be tough to beat. But the whole thing I was thinking this morning is everybody's got to go through Kansas City again. Can't, like, it's amazing what those, like, they've gotten to the point, George. I was thinking too, when I was growing up, Joe Montana and the 49ers, they were kind of dominating the league. And if you made mistakes against them, they capitalized on it and they beat you. And that's what's happening right now with the Kansas City Chiefs. You cannot make mistakes against them. You cannot have turnovers, because if you do, you're going to lose the game. That's just the way it is.
They also appear to be a better football team than they were a month ago. And to me, some of that's got to be Andy Reid, who, at the worst of times just kept plugging away. And all of a sudden now you can kind of see it.
No, and I tell you what, the best squad on his team is not the offense anymore, but it's the defense. They didn't even have Chris Jones yesterday playing, so they kind of dominated Pittsburgh as well in Pittsburgh. So it was what these teams are doing right now. The Ravens are really good, the Bills are really good, and obviously the Kansas City Chiefs are. It's just amazing what they do. And if you make mistakes against these teams, they're going to make you pay for it.
Okay, I think Terry McCormick is ready by phone with our daily Titans update during football season. That's how we start the show. Terry, I hope you had a great Christmas.
I did, George. We enjoyed it.
Tell me what's going on in Titans land.
Well, they're getting ready to go down to Jacksonville to play another team that's just as bad as they are. And they're going to maybe have to do some reshuffling on the offensive line. It looks like Jalen Duncan, who is back from injured reserve, could be in line to get the look at right tackle. It's possible. They've tried a number of guys there this year, as you're well aware of, and it hasn't worked out very well for very many of them. And then Dylan Radins, who is the right guard, he went out with a shoulder injury against the Colts last Sunday, and so his status is a little up in the air. So they could have potentially a completely new 3/5 of the line on Sunday, because it would mean Corey Levin probably playing center and Daniel Brunskill at guard if Radins can't go. So certainly an area that has not been a strong suit of the Titans all year, still in flux here with 2 games left.
Yeah, what are you hearing on Mason Rudolph?
Well, he's going to be the starter. He's going to start for the second straight week. One of the things that Brian Callahan talked about Tuesday, because they took Wednesday off, was that the decision, one of the reasons for the decision was that he gets the ball out quicker and executes the offense at a faster pace, and and I guess processes better, gets the ball out of his hands, takes the check downs better than Will Levis has. And with the state this offensive line is in, you really can't blame them, because they can't protect long enough to let Levis do his thing, which is trying to go down the field a lot more.
Yeah, you're right about that. Anything else you want to get into before we let you go?
Yeah, a couple of minor transactions. They had claimed David Long, whom they had from 2019 through 2022 and was a fine linebacker for them. They had claimed him off waivers from Detroit. We're about to add him to the roster, and he failed his physical this morning, so they will not be adding him. And they also worked out a couple of kickers, and they have added Matthew Wright to the practice squad as insurance in case Nick Folk's not able to go again on Sunday. Wright is the guy that filled in while Harrison Butker was hurt in Kansas City. So possibly another new kicker if Folk can't go on Sunday.
So what happens to Narveson?
Well, they waived him when they activated Jalen Duncan from when they activated him from injured reserve. Narveson was the guy who was out. I think he was probably only a 1 to 2 week solution anyway, depending on what happened with Folk. And then when he missed that 53-yarder, it kind of sealed his fate.
Okay. Good stuff, Terry. Glad you had a good Christmas. We will not be on tomorrow, so you need to know that.
Okay. Sounds good.
We'll be down in Birmingham to watch Georgia Tech and Vandy do battle over on UAB's campus. Billy, you have an update with some level of substance?
It's got a little bit of substance, but apologies. It may not be the best update. dealing with some of the issues I was prior to the show.
Seemed like Van Halen got a lot of airtime.
Yeah, it did. And, this update is brought to you by Lori Burnett Leland. You can find her online at mortgageladyusa.com or give her a call 615-969-4350. All right. Update again. We've got Teddy Bridgewater is returning to the Lions after he, of course, unretires after the high school title and has signed with the Detroit Lions. If anybody did not know that. He coached his high school alma mater to a state championship. Lions coach Dan Campbell said his return does not mean the team is disappointed with current backup Hendon Hooker. But I had no idea that Bridgewater was even interested in getting back in the NFL. So,
Kelly, what do you make of that for Hendon Hooker?
But don't that mean what? Doesn't that sound what it means? I mean, he's obviously not because they're going into the stretch run. They got to keep this thing going, and obviously, if that's happened, you got to think that they're not happy with Hendon Hooker. That's kind of what it sounds like to me, because when you get in these situations now and something happens to Jared Goff, because they're still trying to get home field advantage now, and if something happens, they've got such a good football team that they need a capable backup that can come in if something does happen to Jared Goff, and it sounds to me like they're not comfortable with him right now.
That's a real surprise to me.
yeah, and Hooker had played in some preseason games, but has he played any regular season? I mean, sparingly.
Not that I can remember. If he has,
right,
it's all been in mop-up duty. Goff has had. There are probably about 4 players in the NFL that could stake a claim to MVP, and to me, Jared Goff's one of them.
Yeah.
Well, I apologies. I was dealing with some technical stuff. If Terry mentioned this already, you can blame me on this. But David Long, failed his physical.
He did,
and he will not be reuniting with the Titans. So we all thought. I mean, that was this morning. So unfortunately, there for David Long. Also, Jim Larinaga, Miami basketball coach, has stepped down after a Final Four run last year, which is kind of interesting timing. We saw what happened with Jay Wright at Villanova. We saw Coach Bennett at Virginia, and now Larinaga, who's older than a good bit of those guys,
he's
is
got
stepping
to
down.
be close to 75.
Yeah, so he is officially stepping down. Also, last night, I know you touched on it, George. Lamar Jackson runs away from the 31-2. And he broke. He broke he's the best rushing quarterback ever. I mean, I think you could say that about Lamar Jackson right now. But is he the MVP? I was talking about this with somebody last night. Because I know he's won it before. Do they give it to Josh Allen just because he hasn't won it?
Well, I think some of it comes down to regions of pockets of voters, Kelly, because you could make a claim for at least 3 and maybe 4 quarterbacks to get that award.
No, I'm kind of with you. I think how many times has Lamar won it? He's won it twice, right, already?
Yeah.
Or is it once?
Going after
it's twice.
His third.
Yeah, it's twice. So, yeah, I think Josh Allen probably gets it this year, but I don't know. Something could happen in these last couple of weeks of the season, but he's played so well this year. I just kind of think but you're right, George. There's a lot of guys. Jared Goff's one of them. I think this has played really, really well. So I guess it's going to be interesting to see who gets it at the end of the year.
Yeah. After the break, Billy, anything else?
That's it.
Okay, after the break, we will be joined by Aaron Morrison. I keep wanting to call him Adam.
He's not the former Gonzaga.
No, he is
star.
not. He is not. But Aaron's going to join us at our broadcast table. He made the request about a month ago to see if we'd be willing to help him a little bit. I love what he's trying to do. It's an 8-team tournament in a 3-day field. He will join us at our broadcast site next. This is 94.9, The Fan.
It was the most horrible experience that any mother could ever go through. I knew that I needed to get help. My friend, she immediately said, "You need to call Bart Durham." And you guys were there within an hour. You guys are like family for us.
Yeah, sure is nice to connect with the people that you're doing your best to help.
Venture Express has been helping people in this area for more than 40 years. They're headquartered in Murfreesboro with over 30 years of dedicated fleets involving production, manufacturing, and corrugated experiences. They're an asset-based company with over 700 tractors, 4,000 trailers, and 800 drivers. If you need their help, dial them up 615-793-9500 or log on to ventureexpress.com. It's easy to say good things about the folks at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers. Number one, I trust them with something that's near and dear to me, the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. But more importantly, I see the fun people have. They enjoy the bowling, they enjoy the camaraderie, and you will too. Come by any of their locations and get ready to have some fun.
As the trusted premier custom home builder in Middle Tennessee, Donnelly Timmons has over 20 years of experience in the industry. Whether you're looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and every remodel is unique, luxurious, and completed on time within budget. Founders Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly have over 25 years of construction experience in the Nashville area. Together, they have completed projects in Forest Hills, Oak Hill, Green Hills, Franklin, and Brentwood. Dustin and Joey believe that communication is the most important aspect of all construction projects. Therefore, they personally manage each project themselves and are involved in job site activities on a daily basis. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
Nashville Sports Network. It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
Today, our show is coming to you from Franklin, Tennessee, and the campus of Battleground Academy, where most of you know by now I went to school. This is the beginning of a 3-day, 8-team tournament called the Battle for Nashville, and the guy that put it together is with us up here at our broadcast site, Aaron Morrison, joining us here. You got to be pleased. You've got some really good teams in this. And I think you're going to do very well with it.
Yeah, I'm very excited about things. I think the lineup of teams has been really good. The coaches that are in it do such a great job. And that was really important for me, is getting some coaches that really, do a great job coaching basketball. And they all do. And so the product on the floor should be really good. And we've put a lot of effort into trying to promote it well and promote the players and programs well. And hopefully put on a good event that'll be a long-standing thing for years to come.
Aaron, who are the 8 teams?
So the 8 teams this year, Brentwood Academy and Hume Fogg, who just tipped off and are playing right now. The next game is Briarcrest and Webb Bell Buckle.
Briarcrest out of Memphis.
Out of Memphis, yes. And then the next game after that is Pope Prep or JP2 out of Hendersonville, and Independence from Franklin, Thompson Station. And then the last game at 7:30 is BGA against McAdory, which is out of a suburb of Birmingham, Alabama.
So Christmas tournaments are nothing new on the high school level, but what gave you the idea to try to do this?
So the idea was I wanted to put something together that got the best teams in the city together to play and crown a champion. Because, a lot of times in Nashville, as we all know, private and public schools can be a little territorial and not want to play each other and that kind of thing. And, and some of the private schools that are close by each other end up not playing each other. And so trying to get some of the best talent in the city together and then maybe sprinkle in a little out-of-town mix. But I grew up in Huntsville, Alabama, and there's a tournament there called the Huntsville City Classic that's been around for 40 years or so and is always just such a highlight on everyone's calendar. It's a 16-team event, and that's what this will replicate moving forward. Move to 16 teams next year, still be a 3-day event, and continue to grow this thing and create something great to promote and cultivate the basketball community in Nashville, Middle Tennessee.
Aaron, how hard is it to get schools from out of town?
It depends. Some are really looking to do something where they can take their team on a trip and create a fun experience. Some want to play really great talent, and so they're looking for the best event they can find. Some kind of, some are just natural connections. So, for instance, McAdory, their coach, is James Poindexter. So James played at Lipscomb University about 15 years ago or so, 12, 15 years ago, and was a great player there. And so he likes to bring his team to Nashville. They actually played at Brentwood Academy earlier this year. So that was kind of a natural thing. I'm a Lipscomb alum, and it just makes sense there. And then, I've already had several schools that are high-level programs from out of the state reach out for next year. And so sometimes as buzz builds, some word-of-mouth builds as well, and people kind of want to be a part in that regard. But sometimes, then you sometimes want to take care of teams in terms of travel and make sure they're accommodated well as well when they do travel to play with you. So it can be a challenge, but also it can be really rewarding. And sometimes they reach out to you on their own.
So kind of give me the goal. I think I heard you say you'd like to expand it to 16 teams. How many would you like in a perfect world to be outside of Nashville?
In a perfect world, the plan today is to bring in 4 from out of Nashville, 12 from the city of Nashville and surrounding Middle Tennessee area. The reason for that is want to put 1 out-of-town team in each quadrant of a 16-team bracket. So it's loaded with Nashville local teams with some opportunities in each quadrant to play somebody that's talented from out of state, give you a little bit different experience there, maybe bring in a player or two that the city might want to see, a high-level recruit, something like that people will be interested in seeing and playing against. So that's the idea, is to bring in 4 from out of town.
Tell me this, and I'm putting you on the spot with this, but you've got 8 schools here. How many D1 prospects you think?
That's a good question. I've tried to gauge that a little bit. I would say at least 10 to 12 right now. There's a lot that are really young that I think will be there. Like as we're watching right now, James Humphrey, who's a number 22 for Brentwood Academy. He's a freshman. He's probably 6'8", 6'7", 6'8", and is going to be a high-level player. I think he's a Division I player without a doubt. And so I would say 10 to 12, maybe as many as 15 to 18 throughout the entirety of the field.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's really good.
For a start, what's the biggest hurdle to putting one of these on? Is it simply the scheduling to get teams to agree to do it?
I think it's more so funding. I think that's the biggest hurdle is because at the end of the day, for me personally, like I don't want to do something that's not organized and really, well promoted. And when you want to do that, it costs money. And so to put on a proper event, I think that's the biggest hurdle is finding the proper sponsors that want to support something like this and want to see something like this happen. And hopefully, give them a good platform for their brand in terms of promotion. And then that helps put on an even better event for the teams, players, programs involved, and for the fans themselves, too, make that process smoother for them. And so I would say that's probably the biggest hurdle. And, yes, getting some buy-in sometimes from teams. I would say sometimes local teams can be hard to find buy-in from in terms of in certain ways. But, just getting them to decide to play with you instead of somewhere else. There's a lot of competing events at this time of year. So finding that can be difficult as well.
How much appeal is there, the concept that your team has to play 3 games in 3 days and somewhere down the road, certainly on the college level, that gets important? Mm-hmm. What about on the high school level?
I think the high school level nowadays, I think these kids are so used to it with travel basketball. Most of these guys play in the summer. They'll go play 2 or 3 games a day, so 3 games in 3 days is a piece of cake for those guys. Right.
Yeah.
And so, I think kids are getting more used to that. But yes, when you get to postseason play, you got to play on short turns and very little scouting. If you look at like a regional tournament, sometimes the semifinals and finals, they're back to back, and so you think about that, or even a state tournament game, sometimes there's a day between maybe. And so you don't really have much turnaround on those. So it's a good learning experience, especially for a coach and a staff to fast scout somebody, right? So if you got a 24-hour turn on a scouting report, it gives you a good opportunity to get your team used to something like that, get your staff used to building that out, get your players used to digesting that and getting ready.
So you've got games tomorrow and games on Saturday, correct?
Correct.
Give me some times. I want to build this thing up, get you a crowd.
Absolutely, yeah. So tomorrow the schedule looks the same as today. So we'll have a 3 p.m. game, a 4:30 p.m. game, and those will be the 2 consolation games of the teams that lose their games today. And then tomorrow evening at 6 and 7:30 is when you're really going to want to be here for the semifinals of the event. So it should be 2 high-level matchups that you can come and see there in the semifinals at 6 and 7:30 at BGA. And then on Saturday, the schedule changes a little. So it'll build back from the championship. We're moving everything up about an hour and a half. So the championship on Saturday evening will be at 6 p.m. We're putting a little bit more of a break between the consolation, the third place game, and the finals. So I think there's a 2-hour window there. I'm remembering correctly off the top of my head. I think it's 4 p.m. I need it in front of me, but I think it may be 2:30, 4, 1 p.m., 1 p.m., 2:30, 4, and 6 on Saturday is what I think that schedule looks like. So we're bumping everything back an hour and a half, putting a little bit bigger break in between, so we make sure we start the championship game right at 6, and kind of make that special. So that looks like the schedule for the next 2 days.
Well, first of all, I wish you a lot of success with this. The basketball junkie in me loves tournaments. To me, basketball's always been kind of a tournament game. You got a really good, nice crowd for this first game. I wanted people to kind of get an idea of what's going on here. When you asked me if we broadcast out here, I kind of jumped at it because to me, this is the kind of community event that is really cool.
Yeah, that's the hope. I hope it's something that people want to make sure is on their calendar every year. I'll go ahead and plug next year's dates. They'll be December 29th through 31st back here at BGA. We may also add a girls tournament. We've been kicking that around pre-Christmas, so we'll see. And so, it's something we hope to add to the calendar every year, and hopefully everyone is excited about.
Thank you. We look forward to doing this again next year.
Absolutely. Me as well.
Aaron, thank you. Aaron Morrison is the creator, may not be totally the funder, but he is the creator of the Battle of Nashville. And I would strongly recommend, if you're a basketball fan, come out here. There is some really good hoops that's going to go on over the next 3 days, and we wish them nothing but the very best in putting this together. After the break, Kelly Holcomb will rejoin us, and then we'll talk about that lack of parity in the National Football League. This is 94.9 The Fan. This is my buddy Stan Harrison from Apple Collision Centers. Recently, you've been talking to me about companies that have a fleet of trucks, and they're always in need of repairs.
That's right, George. We understand that nobody likes to deal with the auto body repair process. We try to simplify that at our 3 convenient locations. We work with all major insurance companies. We help to ease the stress of the auto body repair process. We're located in Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin. If you need our services, please stop by and see us.
And how convenient that we have that in the background. Now, seriously, these are good folks. They do really good work. Give them a holler.
You were in a crash.
Yeah.
Your kids were in the car with you.
We're very lucky to even be telling this story to you. Nikki treated us like family, and she was very caring and loving, and I'm just so grateful for that. She was somebody I could trust, and being a veteran, that's so important to me. My kids are going to have a better life now because I don't have to worry about those expenses that we were out. Your family has really created a legacy of trust, and I would recommend you to anyone.
Over the years, more men have started to seek help for hormone deficiencies and imbalances, and Dr. Jeffrey Lodge and wife Daphne, along with their experienced staff, give men the treatment required to improve their quality of life, improve your immune system, energy level, cognitive function, and more. There's no better time to achieve a healthy lifestyle. What are you waiting for? Give Cool Springs MD a call today for an appointment at 615-486-3458 or visit the website coolspringsmd.com. Are you concerned about the Medicare Part D changes for 2025? Believe me, you're not alone. You need to contact Pancos Benefits. They'll make the changes clear and easy to understand. Trust Pancos to guide you through it all. Their knowledgeable team is here to help you understand the updates and make informed decisions about your Medicare coverage. Don't navigate these changes alone. Call Pancos Benefits today at 615-292-3400 and choose option 3, or visit pancosbenefits.com. That's 615-292-3400 and choose option 3.
For over 35 years, Wilson Bank & Trust has been committed to providing customized banking solutions to help individuals, families, and businesses in Tennessee achieve their goals. As your full-service community bank, we are proud to offer loans with competitive rates, local decision-making, and fast, friendly service from our experienced lenders. No matter where you are on your financial journey, Wilson Bank & Trust is ready to help you take the next step. Visit your nearest Wilson Bank & Trust office or online at wilsonbank.com to get started today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
We told you not to do this. Your sports live here.
On ESPN 94.9. The Fan.
And the Game Nashville Sports Network. It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
Hope all of you had a great Christmas. We are broadcasting from Battleground Academy, from Cherry Gymnasium, where the battle for Nashville is going on at this very moment. Brentwood Academy, I think, is losing to Hume Fogg at halftime, 20-16.
Yep, I think you're right. Hume Fogg's got a pretty good team. And we know about Brentwood Academy, but as Aaron was talking about, there's some teams in Nashville that maybe haven't been so good in the past that have developed players and have some pretty good teams. So the basketball, as we talk about the football a lot, as Kelly well knows in Murfreesboro, the basketball has gotten a lot better as well.
So I want to ask y'all, because I think I heard this right. The three of us all said we had a really good Christmas. Do you think Netflix, which paid $125 million for the right to televise those two snoozers yesterday, did they have a good Christmas?
You know, I was thinking the same thing. I thought it was a really good broadcast, though. I thought,
well, yeah, they took CBS's.
Well, they
talent.
had NFL Network. It was a mix of people, though. They had Mina Kimes from ESPN. I don't know how they did that. I didn't know they were going to do that. But I thought it was good. I mean, they had halftime performances too, but that was a big downer. I mean, on Christmas Day, you're not doing anything other than, and you'd kill to have good football on, but that wasn't good football.
So, Kelly, with that in mind, I brought it up earlier. It's almost a codlock cinch. Baltimore will be the 3 seed in the AFC. The Houston Texans will be a 4. Baltimore beat the ever-living crap out of Houston yesterday. Is there that wide a gap between the top 3 and the rest in the AFC?
I don't know. It could be, George, but I think it was just a deal where if you watch the start of that football game, they could not stop Baltimore running the football. Like they were just handing it to Derrick Henry, and they were playing smash mouth football, and he was getting 6, 7, 8 yards a carry on the first drive, and then you throw Lamar Jackson in there when you've got Derrick Henry running the ball so well, and then you throw him in there and he goes back to pass, or they call a run play for Lamar Jackson and nobody touches him. He's like Houdini. He's one of the guys, and he is by far the best running quarterback ever to play the game. And it's just amazing. He was hurt a couple of years ago, but it's amazing what he can do with his feet. I obviously did not have that talent. It's remarkable to see that. But nowadays, everybody wants to run around, and they're not Lamar Jackson. Like Lamar Jackson has figured out, and I've said it over and over on our show, that he's learned how to throw the ball from the pocket. He must be a really hard worker in the weight room, on the field, in the video room, watching game film. He understands the game now. But until he goes to Kansas City and beats Kansas City, it's going to be empty for him because, like we said, he's had 2 MVPs. He might get another one this year. I'm not sure. But until he goes and he wins that big game, there's always going to be a question about him that he can do it in the regular season, but he can't do it in the playoffs. But the team that they have, they've always been known for their defensive side of the football. I had to play against, Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, all those guys, Chris McAllister, Tony Saragusa, all those guys. They were really good defensively, but now offensively they've got a defensive tackle that's their fullback, and he's blocking for Derrick Henry on multiple occasions. So they just present you so many problems, George. But I'm not sure that they're that much better right now because they had their struggles early on in the year, but they're starting to hit their stride at the right time. But I just think sometimes it's funny how you watch games, and when the game starts, and within the first 4, 5, 6 minutes, you understand, like, it's hard for a team if they start off bad to come back in the second half and pick it up. And the way that the Texans started yesterday with just getting ran through, it looked like a butter knife through butter, man. It was just,
oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's so demoralizing to a team too, because they're going to run the football. That's what they do, and you couldn't stop it.
What does this mean for the Texans, you think? Because they clinched the division.
It was just a bad game, though.
Okay,
but they haven't been playing well the last few weeks.
And in truth, if we're being honest, C.J. Stroud hadn't been anywhere near as good this year as he was last season.
I think we learned how important Tank Dell is.
Boy.
Which, you don't –
gruesome injury.
Yeah. I mean, you never want that to happen to anybody. But they still, Nico Collins, they've still got weapons. That's just – I think part of it – and they were at home, too. That's what was crazy about it for me.
Kelly, they feel like by default the winner in the AFC South, and they don't feel like they're anywhere near as good as they have been.
Yeah, it's amazing, too, when we started the season or even last year, how we were talking about the division and how bad it was, and then they started playing better, and then you had these young quarterbacks, and now the Titans are not very good. And then what's happened to the Jacksonville Jaguars? Everybody thought they were going to be on the rise, and then Anthony Richardson, he comes in, and then he takes himself out because he's tired, and then he gets benched for a couple of games, and now they've kind of hit a stride, and they're starting to come along. But Houston is kind of they're the cream of the crop in the AFC South, and I don't know. I just think they didn't play good yesterday. They couldn't stop the run. I'm with you, George. Like C.J. Stroud, I even said it to my son yesterday. He made some throws yesterday. Like he's a good player, but like when you take one of the key people out of the team for him on the offensive side of the ball and Tank Dell, I mean you could see he was crying when he got hurt because that was a gruesome injury. They're best friends. That takes a toll on you. And when you think about football, you think about single A football in high school. You can have 1 or 2 players and they can carry your team. And then once you keep going, you get up to 6A, you got to have more players. And then you get to college, you got to have a bunch of players on both sides of the ball. Then you get to the National Football League, and there's players all around. But then it starts showing your weaknesses, like how bad are you in certain spots. Like you look at the Titans, they haven't been very good up front. And if you are not good up front on either side of the ball at any level, you're not good. But it just gets so compounded that if you're bad at a position, if you're bad at quarterback, you're not going to win games. If you've got a couple of insufficiencies in your run game, or you hadn't got good running backs, it just shows up huge in the National Football League. And I think that's kind of what you saw yesterday with Houston. One of their key guys went down, and they got to figure out how to get somebody in there that can help them with his absence.
So y'all help me with this. I know I've got my own preconceived answer, but it's going to be Kansas City, the 1 seed, and the home field advantage throughout the playoffs, as well as a first-round bye, which to me is very important. Then you've got Buffalo in the 2 hole, Baltimore in the 3. Do you all see anybody between 4 through 7 that can upset that apple cart?
This year,
That's
no,
definitely not the
I really
Texans.
don't. Yeah, I this year I do not. I do not see that. Maybe Pittsburgh's kind of hit a skid here lately. You always think about Pittsburgh being in there, but you just see how Kansas City. That's a tough place to go in and play the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh and kind of dominate them like they did yesterday. And there's always teams that can get hot, and I always use this, George. I can remember when I was playing, and the Pittsburgh Steelers were not very good during the regular season. They finished the season at 9-7, barely got in the playoffs, but they got hot at the right time. I think to end the regular season, they won like 3 or 4 games in a row and kind of got hot at the right time. And then Ben Roethlisberger, Jerome Bettis, all those guys went up to Detroit and won the Super Bowl. So right now, I don't see anybody toppling those 3 teams in the AFC. I really don't. But if somebody gets hot, you never know.
I'll say this: the Chargers would be a team that I would really keep an eye on.
To me, they're the only one.
Right. You've got the Broncos potentially too, but
I don't see that.
Yeah, they may not even get in. But I think the Chargers, with how beat up the Texans and Steelers are, I think the Chargers are that team. Now, who do they beat? Who knows? The Chiefs are not very susceptible.
I just know they're dangerous because you've got a Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
And it feels like when you've got him, Kelly, it's like you can say, okay, you got a puncher's chance.
Plus, you got Jim Harbaugh now that's kind of infused those guys with some energy, and he's kind of gotten those guys to believe. And they're a totally different team with Harbaugh than they were last year. Last year, they were going nowhere. They had that defensive coordinator. He just didn't bring anything to the table. I think that's one of Jim's strengths is he gets guys believing in themselves, and he's got Justin Herbert playing at probably the best he's played since he's been in the National Football League, and he's taken off running more. But that's he's a huge human being, 6'6", and he's probably 240. But he's one of those guys too. And I was going to ask y'all, where's Miami right now? Are they still in the hunt, Billy, or are they out of it?
Miami is they're on the bubble.
They're on the bubble, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're in the hunt, on the bubble, whatever you want to say.
Others in the hunt.
Yeah.
When you're others in the hunt, it's not a Merry Christmas.
It's not a good deal right there. And if you could get Tua hot, and if you could keep him healthy, maybe with all the guys. But I think they've got too many injuries, and I don't see them making it. But that's a team right there that with all the playmakers they got on, if they could get in the hunt, and they could get further along, they might have a shot if they got hot at the right time. But I don't know if they're going to make it.
I don't think the Bengals get in, but that's another team in the hunt that. They've got Joe Burrow.
In the mix.
They don't have a defense, but you've got Joe Burrow.
Yeah. You'd have to win 47-41.
Right.
So in the NFC, I know we all have jumped all over Detroit, and I think there was a time where Detroit was the best team. Now there's Minnesota. Yes, there's Philly. To me, the sleeper, and by the way, I'm not buying the Lions anymore, not for anything they've done wrong, but Kelly, they got way too many injuries.
Yeah, they got their last year close, and I'm afraid. I don't want to say this. I'm afraid that I like Jared Goff, and he's been playing well, and you've talked about him. I just he took the Rams to the Super Bowl. There's no doubt, and he's been there and he's done that. There always feels like, I don't know about y'all, but there always feels like something's going to happen with Detroit and they're going to fall by the wayside. It just seems that way to me. I don't know why. Maybe it's past experiences, but I tell you what, now is Jalen Hurts, didn't he get hurt last week? Did he get hurt, Billy? Or
he did.
Concussion.
Is he going to be out?
Sirianni hasn't given.
No, they've been very tight-lipped, and the problem is if Kenny Pickett is hurt as well.
Right.
Kelly, they may be starting you Sunday.
No, they're not starting me, but Philly was coming on. If you got Jalen Hurts as their quarterback with the way they run the football, like they're running the ball better than the Baltimore Ravens. They're leading the league in rushing this year. So if Jalen Hurts comes back and he's not hurt, they've got a shot. I think they probably win the NFC. But if he's hurt and their backup's hurt, man, that's going to be huge. I'm not sold on the Vikings either, but it seems like all those NFC teams are kind of like that, George. You know, like you don't really – you can't really buy into them. I would love to see the Detroit Lions. I think everybody in the country would love to see the Detroit Lions go, but there's just something there. And I think if Jalen Hurts comes back and he's healthy and he kicks that thing back into gear, I think it's the Philadelphia Eagles myself.
Jalen Hurts did not practice today. Kenny Pickett did.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And Tanner McKee, former Stanford quarterback, practiced as well.
Great.
So that's the update. That's the update for the Eagles.
To me, the team nobody is really talking about, that if I'm out there and I'm in the NFC, I want no part of Green Bay. They just mangled New Orleans Monday night. That was men amongst boys.
Yeah, that was bad.
That was really bad.
Who's
isn't
their
that amazing,
favorite in the NFC?
Well, isn't that amazing, though? The NFC North's got Green Bay, Detroit, and Minnesota. It's kind of crazy.
Poor Bears, who, by the way, we'll see tonight on, I guess, on Prime.
Yes.
I know I'm excited.
Yes. It's always exciting seeing Caleb Williams behind that offensive line.
Oh, listen, it's a sack waiting to happen. But, Kelly, is it now Green Bay, Philly as the two best in the NFC?
I don't know if you can go there now, but yeah, I think Philly is for sure. I think you got to go Detroit, but I think those four teams, I think the three NFC North teams that I just talked about in Philly, you're going to get one of those teams in the Super Bowl. That's just kind of how it is in the NFC. Like the 49ers, like they have had so many injuries. They just can't stay healthy. And right now they have no shot. But I think it's one of those four teams coming out of NFC at some point that's going to be the Super Bowl, in the Super Bowl.
Watch out for the Vikings. They're playing really well right now, too. Sam Darnold looks at times, certain weeks, like the best quarterback in the league, the way they're playing. I know there's other teams in the NFC that you'd pick to win before them, but look out. I like the Vikings.
I'll also tell you that I think there's starting to be talk, Kelly, that the Vikings need to hold on to Sam Darnold. The just simply letting him go, he's been too good for that.
Yeah, and that's a problem sometimes when you have in your organization, you bring in a young guy and then something happens to him, and then the guy comes in and he's just like Sam Darnold has played too good not to sit down as a staff and say, hey, we got to think about this right now, because that guy with this team around him has played unbelievable football and has got us. And if he gets them to the Super Bowl, they're seriously going to have to evaluate the situation and figure out what they're going to do with it, because you got a guy in J.J. McCarthy he was a rookie. He gets hurt. You don't know what you got really, but you know right now with this team, you know what you got with Sam Darnold. So that's a situation that the San Diego Chargers had a long time ago when Phillip Rivers and Drew Brees. Everybody wanted Drew Brees to come in or Phillip Rivers to come in, and Drew Brees just kept playing and playing. He was playing really well, and At the end, they just said, hey, we got to forget this. We got to put Drew Brees on the trading block. We got to get him out because we got to see what we got with Phillip Rivers.
And in that case, it worked for both teams. Let me give people a little bit of an idea what we're going to do. At 4 o'clock after Stat of the Day, we will go to Underdog Picks, where all of a sudden we've got a razor's edge race between me and Kelly. Billy, good luck for bronze.
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah, it's been over.
This is my first year in the competition.
You know what?
I mean,
we're so
Billy.
tired. We're tired.
Nobody cares,
y'all been doing
dude.
this.
Nobody cares.
Y'all been doing this for 30 years.
It's loser talk.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's just simply loser talk. Anyway, after Stat of the Day, we'll go Underdog Picks. And then at 4:20, we're going to open up the phones, find out, first of all, how your Christmas went. But secondly, we got a lot of college bowl games. Vandy plays tomorrow in Birmingham. Billy and I will be down there for that game with Georgia Tech. And, a lot going on. By the way.
Which it's weird that there's a lot going on because usually this is the time of year, if, cover sports, especially football, where you get a little bit of downtime. But for college football right now, this is prime time. I mean,
are you two riding down there together?
We are.
I'm providing gas.
He's paying for it.
George, you might want to think about that. Y'all might want to go to the rental place tonight and rent a car because I'm not sure that Toyota Camry that was made in 1984 that Billy's got will get y'all there and back.
George is providing.
We're not doing that. We're going with the Chevy Equinox. By the way, start of the fourth quarter in a riveting bowl game. Pittsburgh leads Toledo 23-20. Later today, Rutgers will take on Kansas State. And here's a biggie, Arkansas State and Bowling Green. Woo! Yeah.
Always big when those two get together.
Listen, you can throw out the records. Those are two great rivals, Bowling Green and Arkansas State. We'll go to the break. Yeah, we're being a little bit of a smart aleck, aren't we? This is 94.9 The Fan.
Where can you see a saber-toothed tiger rappel from the rafters? How about a catfish fly? The biggest stars in Music City. Not to mention hockey's hottest ticket.
The Predators win!
Only in Smashville. See your Nashville Predators all season long at Bridgestone Arena. Single game tickets are on sale now at NashvillePredators.com. Let's go, Preds!
Star Physical Therapy was established in 1997 with one great mission: to serve. If you're hurting, don't wait to receive physical therapy. You don't need a referral to see their physical therapist, and early morning and evening appointments are available. Make the call to 615-673-1420 and get rid of that pain. Star Physical Therapy, the official health provider of Football Friday.
Convenience and value, two words that we expect when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to deliver just that, both to our school partners and to our customers. Whether you're purchasing photos, yearbooks, class jewelry, letter jackets, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience easy, convenient, and cost-effective. Find out more at jhacompany.com or call 615-867-6345 for more information. JHA, one source, one company.
The Christmas sale going on now.
Up to half off on floor model, scratch and dent, and discontinued merchandise. Floor model and scratch and dent spas starting at only $29.99 with immediate delivery.
Enjoy the movie theater experience in the safety and comfort of your own home with theater seating from Family Leisure. 3-piece sets are only $9.99. Massage chairs are only $9.99 as well.
Family Leisure has air hockey and foosball tables in stock and on sale starting at just $1.99.
Family Leisure has 30 pool tables on display display. Hundreds in stock for immediate delivery. Slate pool tables starting at just $19.99 installed.
Shuffleboard tables only $19.99 as well.
Family Leisure is kicking off pool sales now. 24-foot above ground pools start at only $29.99 installed.
That's Family Leisure's up to half off after Christmas sale going on now.
At both huge locations, Antioch and Franklin.
Your sports live here. WBUZ HD3 Laverne. All around the world on the Game Nashville app. We are the Game Nashville Sports Network. ESPN 94.9. The Fan. A Cromwell media station.
It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
Coming up, we've got silly underdog picks with bowl season heavily underway. We're broadcasting live from Battleground Academy, Georgia's stomping grounds here for the Battle of Nashville tournament. Hume Fogg and Brentwood Academy going at it right now. Pope Prep just got into the gym. They'll be playing later tonight as well. Some good basketball going on. We'll have it all the way throughout the weekend as well right here at BGA. But first stat of the day brought to you by Apple Collision Centers. You can find them at Old Hickory, Hendersonville, or Gallatin. Give them a call, 615-754-9800, or log on to their website. That's applecollisioncenters.com. It's getting loud in here.
By the way, how good is Hume Fogg?
They are really good.
Man, they're up 11, about to go to the fourth quarter.
I was telling a buddy of mine earlier, we used to play them when I was at Fall Orion, and they, no offense, were not the stiffest competition. But
they are
now. You look at
They've
them
got
now,
some athletes.
They're playing a pretty good BA team as well.
They've got one or two that are going to end up on the D1 level.
Absolutely.
So what do you got for us?
Mikal Bridges dropped 41 in the Knicks Christmas Day game yesterday. Only one Knicks player has scored more than that on Christmas Day. Name that player.
Kelly, I believe it's, to quote the late, great John Ward, Bernard King of Tennessee.
Meanwhile, there's just a buzzer beater here.
Bernard King, huh?
I think it's Bernard King, and I think it's something like 53 on Christmas Day.
You sound like you know. Let's do it.
Billy, show me Bernard King.
Correct.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
60.
60. So
wow.
He scored enough for Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah.
Boy, I'll tell you one thing. I'm old enough to have seen Bernard King, and I'm telling you, I don't believe there has ever been a better player in the Southeastern Conference. Now, some people would argue that Pete Maravich, who averaged 40 some odd, with his dad as the head coach, and what he did was amazing. Was he a ball hog? Absolutely. The single best player, if you put a gun to my head, is that guy, Bernard King.
Ernie and Bernie. Or was it Bernie and Ernie?
Well, it was Ernie first, and then Bernard a year later. Bernard King, incredible. Incredible.
I didn't realize he who else did he play for in the NBA other than the Knicks?
Oh, gosh. Bernard King seems like he was back when they were the Bullets, seems like he was a Washington Bullet. I'm drawing a blank on who all he played for, but I'm here to tell you Bernard King was a stud.
But was he as good as he was in the NBA as he was in college?
Yeah, I mean, look, he had on some bad Knicks teams. I mean, when you score 60 in a game on the NBA level, you're probably pretty good.
Yeah. Man, that was good. I guess 2 for 2 this week for stat of the day.
We're
Kelly,
nice. You realize by this will be an undefeated week.
Nice.
By default.
I like
By
it.
default.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's undefeated, Billy. We don't care.
Net, Jazz, Warriors, and Bullets for Bernard King.
Say those again.
Nets, Jazz, Warriors, and Bullets.
Wow. I don't know why I'm thinking Jan Van Bredikoff and Bernard King may have been teammates at one point in New Jersey.
Oh, really?
I think so.
We ready for silly underdog picks?
Absolutely, we are.
Okay. Let's review, starting with, what was it, the last week? Because we all picked 2 games.
Yeah, it was a week ago, and we each did 2. This week, we're each going to do 3, and that will be the end of the competition.
And last week, my 2 picks lost. All of our picks lost. I had Tulane. They lost 33-8 to Florida.
Nice effort.
Yep. Coastal Carolina lost 44-15 in their bowl game. Kelly had Jacksonville State in a close loss. Almost had them 30-27. They lost. Indiana got pummeled by Notre Dame, but still thought that was a decent pick from Kelly. And then George picked SMU. Nice pick there. They lost 38-10. And then you picked Tennessee, 42-17. So
there's only so many games you can pick from, Billy. I mean, good gracious.
Yeah, but I mean, it's
it's a tough competition.
Yeah, and you're out of it, Billy.
It is.
Doesn't that make you feel good?
I don't even know why am I making picks anymore?
Just because.
I mean,
you have to. I mean, it's
if you took Pogie's picks, his pick that he won out of it, you would be dismal.
Dismal.
You would not even qualify for a bronze medal.
How did you do?
Yeah, you wouldn't even qualify for the playoffs, Hoss. You're gone.
Thanks, Hoss. I mean, that's
gone.
I just want to
get out.
I just want to be respectable. You dork.
Wow.
All right, so that's what happened last week, and now on to the standings. And of course, nothing changes, but just a little review.
Yes.
Of the standings.
Let's spend some time.
George
reviewing.
Is in first place with 42 points. Kelly in second with 40.5 points, so neck and neck. And I am last with 23 points. But that was because of a slow start from Poggie. He didn't.
No, it is not.
Oh gosh.
That is such revisionist history. Yes, Poggie was not, Jimmy the Greek, but certainly you have not been either. In fact, your effort has been disgraceful.
Billy, just think about this. I didn't win a game till like
What
6
about
weeks
Kelly?
into the season.
I mean,
hold
exactly.
on. I didn't win a game till 6 weeks of the season. You just got to keep your head down and keep figuring out the picks, man. And you're never out of it in this competition, Billy, as you are right now. You're pretty much out of it. But doesn't that make you feel bad that I didn't even win a game for like 6 weeks into it?
Yeah, which makes me think I'm still in this thing.
Well, you can think that all you want.
Yeah.
I mean, I could win all 3 of mine, and y'all could lose all 6 of yours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. This week's order, as we get this loaded up, we're all making 3 picks, which, again, gives me a shot. Kelly will go first, then George, then me, and then we'll go Billy, Kelly, George, and then George, Billy, Kelly.
Ooh, this is exciting.
This is riveting.
Can you feel the drama?
I can. All right, we're going to kick it off with Kelly Holt, and we're just going to do one round of songs. So, David, back in the station, you don't have to play it every 5 seconds. Let's lead it off with Kelly Holcomb.
We can skin a buck and run a trot line, and a country boy can survive. Country folks can survive. Country boy can survive. Country folks can survive.
Is it done now? Give me something, George.
It's great seeing Mama at Christmas.
Okay, so I'm only a 1.5 down, so I'm going to do this. Let me make sure this is right. Give me Ohio State to beat Oregon. That'll put me over the top if I win it.
Ohio State's the favorite.
Oh, are they? That's why I'm saying. Okay, sorry.
Dork.
Yeah, I know, man.
Is this you attempting to circumvent the rules again?
This is a lack of preparation. This is Kelly. This is what this is.
Well, this is not the first time
probably
Kelly
is.
has tried to
I know
cheat
that.
his way to a title.
Circumvent.
So let me rethink this.
This is already
We
a
go
Jim
off the
2
air
operation.
at 5.
Give me BYU to beat Colorado.
Okay. Kelly going with BYU to beat Colorado. That is Saturday night in the Alamo Bowl. Kelly.
Renamed, of course, for Tony and Susan Alamo.
Tony and Susan Alamo. All right.
The Alamo Bowl.
Kelly, what was that number at? I'm trying to pull it up right here.
4.
It's 4 on mine.
So Kelly going with BYU +4 over Colorado on Saturday night. All right, up next, as we take a look at the order, is George Plaster.
My team doing absolutely nothing in free agency. Billy, we're going to take the Virginia Tech Hokies.
Oh.
Or as some call it, Hokey High.
George going with Virginia Tech +7 against Minnesota in the Duke's Mayo Bowl. That is January 3rd.
Yeah, that guy can take that boat and shove it. I'm tired of hearing about him rowing that damn boat.
Well, old Brent Pry is in a little bit of hot water, I think, at Virginia Tech right now. So Tech +7 over Minnesota. That's who George is taking. That is January 3rd. All right, up next, myself. Let's get it going.
Myself.
John Deere Creek, on a hot summer night, he wrote Billy Bob Blue Charlie. Better 3 foot high.
All right. We have some late news concerning Billy Bob and Charlene. Billy Bob, during Christmas, earned his GED, and they had a graduation ceremony in Rockvale, and Charlene was able to make it.
Rockvale. I like it.
Kelly?
Gosh, George, what are we doing here? What kind of Jim Shoe operation we got going on?
Well, I mean, the song talks
I love me
about
some Joe
Billy
Diffie,
Bob
though. I know, but I'll sing that song forever because I love me some Joe Diffie. I can't believe that Billy even knows who that is.
All right. We've got Kelly cutting in and out here.
Yeah, what's the problem?
Which is a tragedy. Also, are you marking these down?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Would you be able to review for us later?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I can.
Thank you. All right. You know what? I'm just gonna. I gotta send it here. So I'm gonna do.
Send what?
I just got it full send here. I'm doing Boise State +10.5 against Penn State.
Good luck.
Boise State +10.5 against Penn State. Yeah. Ashton Genty is going to run all over that Penn State defense. James Franklin's going to go home crying.
Okay.
He may head west if he ends up crying.
Yeah. All right. So that's what I've got. Up next, we're going to do another pick from me.
Another round.
You know, I can't go in my right mind with Arizona State. That's not going to happen. But I'm trying to look for a bigger line here.
That's about all you got,
That's another
Hoss.
big line game.
Duke Ole Miss.
That is just about all I got.
You can take La Tech against Army.
You can take Texas State. North Texas to beat Texas
Which used
State
to be
if
a
you
prison.
like. That's right.
I'm
North
going to
Texas
take
home mean
Arkansas
Joe Green.
State
Okay.
I'm going to take Arkansas State tonight, plus 10.5 to beat Bowling Green. So that's what I'm riding with. All right. Up next, Kelly Holcomb. What you got, Kelly?
You know what? I think I'm going to take, I'm going to say Boston College beats Nebraska.
Without their quarterback.
Doesn't matter. We saw that last week. Doesn't matter.
They haven't had Castellanos for a while, though. So
BC +4.
BC +4.
I will go with East Carolina.
East Carolina.
+6.
Who are they playing?
NC State. Way to keep up.
Yeah, well, the internet in here is awful, so.
It's not Father Ryan, is it, Billy?
It's not Father Ryan. We have better internet at Father Ryan. So,
okay, my next pick, we're now into round 3, and I get to lead off.
Yes.
I'm going to take Navy against Oklahoma.
Navy against Oklahoma. Okay.
Yep.
And for some reason, I'm not
Navy
able to...
+3.
I'm just gonna take it. I'm going Rutgers +7.5.
You little
against
communist.
Kansas State.
That was going to be my next pick, dude. Are you kidding me?
I got Rutgers.
I was going to go with the Rutgers Scarlet Knights.
All right, last pick, Kelly.
You know what? Is Diego Pavia, he's not hurt anymore, is he? He good?
He's good, yeah. He's feeling good.
Is he playing? Is he playing with all his court? Okay, so his court battle got won, so he's back at. You know what? Give me the Commodores,
Well, now,
dude.
hold on a second. All
right.
The NCAA says they're going to appeal, but as all of you know, and I brought it up on the air whenever it was, a week and a half ago, the last time the NCAA won a court case was just after the United States allowed Hawaii statehood.
The Peloponnesian War.
But that won't matter for this game for him. This is still the season, correct? So yeah, just give me the Commodores over the Yellow Jackets.
Okay.
All right, you want to review for us, George?
Yes, and I'm going to show you the way a commissioner should operate.
Okay.
Here are the picks for the final Underdog session of the year. We'll begin with Kelly Holcomb. He's taking BYU +4 against Primetime. And when you see that game, ask yourself, why does Dion need sunglasses at night? I don't have the answer to that. Kelly also is taking Boston College +4 in a game against Nebraska. And Kelly rounds out by taking Vanderbilt tomorrow +2.5 in the all-important Birmingham Bowl against Georgia Tech. Billy, whose tying run is in Guam, has these selections. Boise State +10.5 against Penn State, where he, in a fantasy world, thinks that Mr. Genty will run wild against the Nittany Lions. He also takes Arkansas State tonight, coached by the psycho Butch Jones. That's +10.5. And Billy also takes Rutgers +7.5 in a game against somebody.
Kansas State.
Thank you. Your leader in the clubhouse and soon-to-be champion, that would be me, is taking Virginia Tech +7 in an interconference scrum against Minnesota. Tickets still available for all of these bowls.
Sections.
I will take East Carolina +6.5 against their arch rivals, NC State. And last but not least, Navy +3 in whatever bowl they're playing in against Oklahoma. I will not
the Armed
close
Forces.
out. Excuse me?
The Armed Forces Bowl.
What does that have to do with Oklahoma?
That's the bowl.
Yeah. They're not part of the Armed Forces. Either way, I will not close this out with this ridiculous gentleman good luck thing because, truthfully, I wish nothing but the worst for both of these clowns.
Oh, good attitude.
It is, isn't it?
Where's the sportsmanship?
There is none.
At least you're honest.
War. Yeah,
At least
this
you're
is
honest.
war. As opposed to you, Billy, who did nothing but just copy Willie's stupidity of years ago.
Stupidity.
Gentlemen, good luck. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, come up with something original, Billy.
He's got a point there.
Maybe I will.
After the break, most days when we ask for phones, we just simply implore. Today, we beg. We would like your phone calls. What's the phone number there? Yeah, I see it. Okay. You can dial us up at 615-553-0933. Again, 615-553-0933. Billy, how can one create a text question or an opinion if they so desire?
They go to YouTube. The chat room is to the right of the YouTube stream. You can ask a question by typing one in. If you're on your laptop, on your phone as well, you swipe up on Twitter and Facebook, and we'd love to hear from you.
We beg of you to call now. Stay tuned. This is 94.9, The Fan.
It was the most horrible experience that any mother could ever go through. I knew that I needed to get help. My friend, she immediately said, you need to call Bart Durham. And you guys were there within an hour. You guys are like family for us.
Yeah, sure is nice to connect with the people that you're doing your best to help.
It's easy to say good things about the folks at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers. Number one, I trust them with something that's near and dear to me, the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. But more importantly, I see the fun people have. They enjoy the bowling, they enjoy the camaraderie, and you will too. Come by any of their locations and get ready to have some fun. Here's Officer Garen Hoskins for the Metro Nashville Police Department.
The Metro Nashville Police Department is on the forefront of policing in this century, and I'm glad I'm a part of it. I'm glad I get to find other good officers, other future good officers. And if you're watching today, or you yourself or someone you happen to know is interested, join MNPD.com. Feel free to reach out to us because we need good officers, and it's a great city to work for.
Are you concerned about the Medicare Part D changes for 2025? Believe me, you're not alone. You need to contact Pancoast Benefits. They'll make the changes clear and easy to understand. Trust Pancoast to guide you through it all. Their knowledgeable team is here to help you understand the updates and make informed decisions about your Medicare coverage. Don't navigate these changes alone. Call Pancoast Benefits today at 615-292-3400 and choose option 3, or visit pancoastbenefits.com. That's 615-292-3400 and choose option 3.
Convenience and value, two words that we expect when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to deliver just that, both to our school partners and to our customers. Whether you're purchasing photos, yearbooks, class jewelry, letter jackets, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience easy, convenient, and cost-effective. Find out more at jhacompany.com or call 615-867-6345 for more information. JHA, one source, one company. One source, one company.
It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
Okay, game one of the Battle of Nashville is over. And Hume Fogg, very impressive today in getting a 57-44 victory. Billy, it's Memphis Briarcrest and
Webb
Bell Buckle.
Yep.
Okay. And they're about to meet. And this tournament's underway, and a nice crowd for the first game.
Yeah, filled in nicely.
Yeah.
Pope Prep will play later tonight. One of the better teams in the state. So this is going to be fun. It's some good basketball, like you just said. Briarcrest from Memphis, and there is a team McAdory, as Aaron was talking about, from Alabama. So some good basketball on a good day to come out and watch some basketball as well.
Real quickly, the bowl game that is on right now, Pittsburgh leads Toledo 30-27. They have about 7.5 to play in the fourth quarter. Now, let's go to some phone calls and some text messages. Eric in Nashville, hope you had a good Christmas. Welcome.
Oh, I did, George, and I hope you did too. And I hope you guys have a safe trip tomorrow to see the Vandy game.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey, George, I just wanted to talk about the NFL games yesterday. I don't have Netflix, but I was over at my sister's house, saw a little bit of the Kansas City game, but I watched the first half of the Baltimore game early on in the third quarter. Whatever you think of Lamar Jackson, he is sick. Just the way he was running around making plays yesterday, the touchdown run he had, the pass was running around, and I think through the pass to Mark Andrews and some other plays where he was running around. And also, I guess, he broke Michael Vick's rushing record yesterday. He's just sick. He'll probably win the MVP. I'm not saying he definitely will. Maybe the NFL has Lamar Jackson fatigue. I don't know, since I run too. But he's, of course, having better stats than he did last year. And he's just amazing. I would love to see, I guess, in Detroit, either Baltimore or Buffalo Super Bowl. But unfortunately, I think it will be Kansas City. Of course, the interesting Super Bowl around here, a lot of people might be interested to see if it would be Philadelphia against Baltimore, A.J. Brown against Derrick Henry. But I don't know if that's going to happen. But you got to give the Chiefs especially props because, like I said, they won the game yesterday without Chris Jones, and they still had 5 sacks. And it seems like no matter what, the Chiefs are able to make plug and play, capitalize on opponent's mistakes, whether it's luck or whatever, like especially with the blocked field goal they had at home against Denver. They just, whenever they need to make them, they come up with a key play. And, of course, the game, I guess, next week against Denver, they won't need to play some players. I believe they're going to give them some players time off, even though they'll have the bye. So some of these players will probably have about 2 or 3 weeks or however long they'll have off. But they're unfortunately the favorite. I would love to see somebody else, but it's like until you can beat us, we're the team. I was going to say, what's their point differential? Because I think it may have changed in the last few weeks because they're playing so many close games. I know it was less than 100 for a 15-1 team. You would think it'd be a lot more lopsided, but I don't know what their point differential is, but I think it's just either close to 100, maybe just barely over 100, despite the fact they're 15-1.
Oh, I think it's – in fact, I'll try to look it up here in a second, but I think it's considerably less than that. That'd be basically a touchdown a game. Keep talking, Eric. I'm going to try and find this.
Yeah.
Because you've brought up an interesting point.
Yeah, and I was also going to say about the Eagles. I know there was something like about I think it was about 8-9 point favor over Dallas. I think it went down to 6.5 because Jalen Hurts, he still hasn't cleared concussion protocol, and I know the backup Kenny Pickett is hurt. So yeah, they could be in some trouble. They may have to try to run the ball with Saquon Barkley, or it's just going to be interesting how they play this weekend because. I think they're pretty much out of the number 1 seed because I don't see Detroit and Minnesota both losing. Who knows? But they're more important is probably to get players healthy instead of just trying to play players is to go for that number 1 seed because I don't know if they're still in it. But another team you did mention that I don't know if they're going to be dangerous or not. What about the Rams? They're going to be interesting too because if they win that division with Matthew Stafford, Sean McVay, and the players they got, they're going to be hard out as well. And I think the NFC South is up for grabs, but we'll see what happens. George, I'll get off and let you get some other callers. It's always good to talk to you. Take care, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Eric, thank you. By the way, the NFC South may come down to Sunday night, Falcons going to Washington.
Yeah.
If the Falcons win, I think they're going to win the division.
How about that? I mean, Kelly,
No
you talked about the NFC, that division with the Lions and the Packers and the Vikings. The difference between that division and the Falcons and Commanders and the same. I mean, it's crazy how these divisions can be so different.
Listen to this. Eric had it almost dead on. Chiefs are a plus 97. They've scored 385, given up 288.
Good Lord.
Yeah, how about that? Okay, what do you got in the text world?
Jimmy says Underdog picks have been one of the best segments for years. It's my first time doing it, so I'm learning the hard way.
Billy. Hey, leave that alone, man. Nobody cares, dude.
Hey, I got to let people know.
We don't need the
why is
excuses,
Billy
dude. Who
losing
cares? You lose because you suck at picking games.
This year.
And we
Now,
all
that could
suck at it
change.
at some point.
I went
You know what I'm
0-4.
But that can change, no?
Well, it can.
That can change.
But not this year.
I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it again. It's called silly underdogs for a reason. It's silly. There's no rhyme or reason. But this year your picks have sucked. And if you've taken pogies away, you would be really bad.
See, that's I mean,
it's an indictment.
Well, it is an indictment. It's certainly not a mandate at all. Jeff in Murfreesboro, Merry Christmas, welcome.
How's it going, George?
How are you?
Couple quick basketball notes. I'm sure you saw where Junior Larranaga resigned today, true?
Yeah, now, Larranaga's got to be close to 75, doesn't he?
Yeah, but he resigned effective immediately. They got an interim coach. He's leaving. Finished. Done. He left today, and they got an interim coach for the rest of the year. That's a second ACC coach that's left now with Bennett leaving for the beginning of the season. So, and also, I don't know if y'all watched the middle game. Y'all probably did the other night, middle and Tennessee. Middle played.
Yeah, how about that, Jeff? That's a good middle team.
Barnes with the officials said, I gave him some NIL money. Said, you better start calling the game right. And they went in and beat them 18. So I know y'all enjoyed that. Gary, did you enjoy that Tennessee beatdown? You enjoy it? You enjoy that?
I'll be honest, I didn't see it.
No, he's saying Tennessee, Ohio State.
Oh, did I enjoy it?
Did you enjoy that Tennessee beatdown?
I was at the basketball game, Tennessee and Middle the other night.
I didn't get to see it. I was at the Preds game.
Well, they were up by 6 at half. Middle was, and they lost 18. So, he went and gave the officials NIL money and said start calling it, because every time you breathe on Ziegler, you got to call a foul on him. And they called one thing on Lou was a flagrant one, shouldn't be. But nonetheless, I don't know if anybody else watched it. But those couple of things. And George, I put it in the chat. If Virginia Tech wins the Duke Mayonnaise Bowl, will you get dunked with a jar of mayonnaise? That's what the winning team does.
No, I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave that to Will Levis.
Oh, well, I mean, that's fine. You can put it in your coffee, whatever you want to do. You can leave it. He'll be gone through the year. So also you'll say goodbye and you'll say good riddance to him, like the rest of these Tennessee ball fans. They hate him like everybody else does. So, but it's just on that note, and have a good have a good New Year, and have a good one. See you.
Thanks, Jeff. We've also got another Jimmy comment. He said he ran into Stan Harrison back on Friday. Super nice guy. He's a great guy.
Yes, he is.
Apple Collision Centers.
He is indeed. Let's go. Where are we going? Clay on line 3. Clay, welcome.
George, how was Christmas at the Plaster household?
Christmas was really good. And I'll tell you what made it for me. The 3 days of volunteering at the Last Minute Toy Store were, for me, nothing gets me in the Christmas spirit more than those 3 days. And for those who've seen it, you understand where I'm coming from. Those of you who haven't, all I would say is, if you get a chance next year, come out and be a part of it.
I wouldn't mind doing that myself. That's a special thing, George. By the way, Mr. Kelly Hoff, I told you last week I told you last week to ease up on my boy Billy. You know, it is Christmas. You're being like the Grinch. I mean, lay off the guy. Come on now.
Clay's on my
He's got
side. I
one-
like Clay.
I know, but Billy's got one of those faces sometimes when he looks at you with this little look, you just want to just smack one really hard time. You know?
Kelly, let me
Billy
ask
and
you
I
this.
Very
was-
heartwarming.
During the Christmas season, did
Billy and
anyone
I
else
was
call you the Grinch?
No, nobody
I
called
was
me the
lucky
Grinch. I'm
enough
not the
to be-
Grinch. I just here's the deal, Clay. In today's world, when you speak honesty, people think you're negative and you're the Grinch. Well, I just speak honest, man. I'm sorry.
You're a man of the people.
I was lucky enough to be sandwiched between Billy and in lane. I believe I was in lane 16. Billy must have been lane 15. Correct me if I'm wrong, Billy. And Kevin Stallings was lane 17, something like that. I was in between the two. But anyway, that's the first night I met Billy. So we're fast friends now. Anyway, I'm excited about tomorrow. I'm coming down in the morning. This is a big deal. Judging where this program was last year and where they're at now, you know, minus, you know, some of the disappointment in the season, but I kind of understand, you know, where that came from now. But I would have to think that Pavia would be as close to healthy as he's been probably since early in the year with this break. And so hopefully they've had good bowl prep, and hopefully the rain's going to hold off. I don't know if the forecast is all that great, but at least it's not going to be cold. But I'm really looking forward to it. And you'll have a good
which we're appreciative of. By the way, Billy, let's look. Let's look at Birmingham's weather real quick. Because while it's supposed to rain here, the last I checked on Birmingham, it was not.
Yeah, tomorrow, 62 is the high, 48 is the low, and it looks like there is a chance of rain, 75% chance.
Oh, that's different.
So it could rain tomorrow in Birmingham.
Yeah. Artificial turf.
I know it's 100%. It's 100%, I think, in Nashville. But again, like I said, at least it's not cold. But I've missed calling in, you know, for a while. I'm glad I called in today. I love you guys' show. George, you know, as always, I appreciate you taking my phone calls all these years, and I consider you a friend. I truly do. And good to know that you are at Battleground Academy, the best high school in the mid-state area.
You could not be more correct. Kelly, it takes an entrance exam. I don't know that you could have been admitted, but maybe with a little help from me, it could have happened.
Let me just go ahead and hey, the suspense is killing everybody. I would not want to go to BGA, George. Sorry.
Take a look at that, Billy.
I've seen
That's
that.
a good-looking logo.
I've seen that plenty of times.
Clay, thank you. You absolutely spoke the truth a moment ago. And as Kelly, you know, always yaps about how he's speaking the truth, he did not speak the truth just a moment ago. It's very disappointing. Clay, thank you. See you tomorrow. We're going to go to the break, and I'm going to ask Bill, who I think is still on the line with us. He'll be first up. And then not only today is not a day that we implore, we beg for another phone call or two at 615-553-0933. Would love to hear from a new caller who has found out about our show. Hit the phones. This is 94.9, The Fan.
You were in a crash.
Yeah.
Your kids were in the car with you.
We're very lucky to even be telling this story to you. Nikki treated us like family, and she was very caring and loving, and I'm just so grateful for that. She was somebody I could trust, and being a veteran, that's so important to me. My kids are going to have a better life now because I don't have to worry about those expenses that we were out. Your family has really created a legacy of trust, and I would recommend you to anyone.
Venture Express has been helping people in this area for more than 40 years. They're headquartered in Murfreesboro with over 30 years of dedicated fleets involving production, manufacturing, and corrugated experiences. They're an asset-based company with over 700 tractors, 4,000 trailers, and 800 drivers. If you need their help, dial them up 615-793-9500 or log on to ventureexpress.com.
As the trusted premier custom home builder in Middle Tennessee, Donnelly Timmons has over 20 years of experience in the industry. Whether you're looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and every remodel is unique, luxurious, and completed on time within budget. Founders Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly have over 25 years of construction experience in the Nashville area. Together, they have completed projects in Forest Hills, Oak Hill, Green Hills, Franklin, and Brentwood. Dustin and Joey believe that communication is the most important aspect of all construction projects. Therefore, they personally manage each project themselves and are involved in job site activities on a daily basis. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
You know, starting to save for your future doesn't have to be difficult. Let Wilson Bank and Trust help tone up your financial goals this year. Our certificates of deposits or CDs can help your money work harder with our competitive rates, earning you more than ever before. WBT checking options allow you to earn rewards you can really use, like a high interest rate or cash back on check card purchases when you meet some e-banking qualifications. Visit your closest Wilson Bank and Trust office or online at wilsonbank.com to get started today. Member FDIC.
Your sports live here.
On ESPN 94.9.
And the Game Nashville Sports Network. It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
Our show originating today from Franklin, Tennessee, and the Battleground Academy Gymnasium. This is day one of the battle for Nashville. Game one is over, and Hume Fogg, an impressive 13-point win over Brentwood Academy, 57-44. At the moment, Webb, Webb School of Bell Buckle.
Yep.
And Memphis Briarcrest going at it 6-2. Excuse me?
The Webb feet.
What?
You know that's what
Yes.
you know that's what Webb is, the Webb feet. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that, Kelly.
Yeah, that
No
was
problem,
very
man. I
insightful.
just thought a little bit of useless information. I mean, George always gives that, so I thought I'd do it one time today.
Well, that's wonderful. That is very heartwarming. Christmas knowledge from Kelly. Bill on line 4. Welcome into 94.9 The Fan.
George, this is your old friend. I'm so happy you're at our old school today. Thank you for broadcasting there. And I want to ask you, all of you, what if anything can be done for the Dallas Cowboys?
Well,
let's start with maybe getting a new owner.
New owner. Absolutely.
Which is not going to happen. But, I do think they're going to retain Mike McCarthy.
Well, he's a pretty good coach.
Hey, this Cooper Rush dude he's playing really good, and they found what he can do best, and they're playing to his strengths, and he's playing pretty good right now. He's got them to 7-8.
The problem is they have had so many injuries,
and they
on
just
defense.
lost CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, CeeDee Lamb was playing in a lot of pain. That shoulder thing Sunday night, man, he grimaced one time after he got hit. Bill,
and let me give credit to Mike McCarthy too, because he got unbelievable levels of hate towards him, especially early in the season. But for him to get them back to playing good football without Dak Prescott, now you lose CeeDee Lamb and all those defensive injuries. He's done a heck of a job.
He might receive the Billy Napier, we thought you were gone,
yes,
but you're not.
Think
award.
Again.
Bill, anything else on your end?
I would like to thank Kelly and Billy for helping you, George. You need all the help you can get, and it's much better with them on there.
Bill, I know who this is, and I will get even for that.
Thank you. Y'all have a good night. Be safe.
Yes, sir.
Bye-bye.
Hey, thanks. Good man right there.
That was a good call.
Yes, I'm sure you enjoyed it. Dave on line 5 is next. Dave, are you there?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. I got a question about C.M. Newton. When he coached at Vanderbilt, what was his best team there?
I would say it was the minute I left town. When I went to Memphis, the Will Purdue group ended up going to the Sweet 16, and I'm trying to think. They beat Pittsburgh in a miracle deal where Goheen hit a 3 at the buzzer to send it to OT. Billy, who was an assistant coach on that Pittsburgh team?
I don't know. Kevin Stallings?
No
clue. John Calipari.
Calipari.
Wow. That was in March of 1988 in Lincoln, Nebraska. That was probably his best team.
Okay. Did he ever go to the Final Four?
Never went to the Final Four. His best team, period, was a team at Alabama that lost in a squeaker to the eventual national champion, Indiana. I want to say that was 76 down in Baton Rouge at that regional. Indiana went on to win the national title, were undefeated. That was the Kent Benson team at Indiana.
Yes, sir. All righty. Thank you.
Hey, thank you. Let me go. Ken. Yeah, thank you. Kenny the mailman. Kenny, I hope you had a good Christmas.
Well, it's sort of everything's a blur. This is the busiest time of the year, but I survived my 38th one at the post office, so it's okay.
Oh, wow. So what is it like at the post office around Christmas?
Have you seen do you remember the last scene from Indiana Jones? What's the first Indiana Jones movie? Where you walk in the warehouse and there's just thousands of packages and boxes stacked up. They're looking for the lost ark. That's what it looks like.
That's what it is. Wow.
Yeah. Hey, I got a great Christmas gift this year, and I think you're going to get one.
Really?
Our buddy Eric Patton, he commissioned 4 little Eric Patton dolls. You pull the string and it asks 12 Titans and 12 Cowboys questions in less than a minute.
Oh, that's beautiful.
We are so excited. Yeah, You know what? I poke him a little bit. He's been a friend for 40 years. Actually, he makes me mad because my sons like him more than they do me. We had it written into our will. My sister was going to take care of him if anything happened. They said, we want to live with Uncle Eric. I said, why? Because he'll love you and take care of you? They said, no, he'll let us eat junk food and watch sports all day.
That's a good point.
He has been a good family friend for a long time. I wish everybody had a friend as good as old Eric.
Well, and he's got a great heart. And you and I both know that.
Yeah. Well, let me know when you get your Eric doll.
Oh, I can't wait.
See you
Thank
later.
you. Okay. An Eric Patton doll.
Stormy on YouTube. Kelly must have received a stocking filled with coal. or he's applying for a movie role as more grumpy old men.
I would like to be in a role for more grumpy old men. That's sweet, man. Those movies. Hey, I'm sure you've never seen that, have you, Billy?
Oh, I have. They're hilarious.
I haven't seen that one.
Good gracious, Billy. Come on, get with the program. Those are one of the funnier old movies ever. Walter Matthau, come on, man.
Get with the program.
Google.
Yeah,
Google it.
Google it. Yeah, Google it, Billy.
And then have
Grow
some
up.
Alpo.
I'll go look for some Alpo.
Wow.
Grow up, Billy. Google it and grow up.
Do you have other text questions?
Yes, I've got one from Dave on Facebook.
Dave.
Who wins tomorrow, Vanderbilt or Georgia Tech?
I kind of
The Doors, man. Let's go.
Does.
Do you really?
Yeah. To me, the difference in that game, Haynes King.
Yeah, is Buster gonna treat him like he did in the Georgia game and about kill the young man and run him 40 times?
You know, I
Good
reached out to
gracious.
Buster, try and get him on the show today. We weren't able to make it work, but Buster Faulkner, who had been once the offensive coordinator in TSU, is now at Georgia Tech, and I think did one of the brilliant one-game offensive coordinator deals against Miami. Man,
I mean,
Miami
what they
had
do,
no clue what the hell was coming.
I'll say this, what Vanderbilt likes to do is a lot of what Georgia Tech likes to do as well. So this could be a quick, 2.5 hour game, 23-20. I think it's going to be a great game.
The reason it won't be are those nice 3.5 minute ESPN commercials.
Yeah. That's
highlighting the city of Birmingham.
Buster was George
Magic
Buster was
City.
the offensive coordinator when we went down to Georgia Tech, and if the referees did not keep that game close, Middle could have scored 70 on Georgia Tech that day. They could not stop Buster Faulkner's offense because he was calling it at a fervent pace. I was loving every bit of it, but if the referees would not have kept it close, scored 70 on them.
I want to see Buster get a head coaching job. I think it's time. I think it's been time.
Tony on Facebook, 2 questions. Billy, what's most important, winning the underdog picks or just finishing ahead of Kelly? That's a good question. At this point, with all the crap Kelly's been talking, I just want to finish ahead of Kelly at this point.
See, that feels like a Michigan-Ohio State question. Would you
I'm in
rather
your
win
head,
the
Billy.
national title or beat Michigan?
Just like Michigan is in Ryan Day's head, Kelly Holcomb is in the back of Billy Derrick's head constantly.
Yeah, I think about Kelly every day.
Billy, I do think there's some validity to that thought.
There is, but that's motivation to get back to where I want to be.
Yeah,
and then
but you can't allow that. I mean, you just cannot allow that.
Question 2 from Tony.
Hold on. Do you think Kelly's in my head?
Sometimes.
Really?
But not as much as he gets into mine.
Right.
But early on, Kelly would get inside my head, but not as much.
At least Billy's starting to fight back a little bit, which that's what I want. If you're not getting messed with me, Billy, then I really don't care for you too much. But now you're starting to give it back a little bit, which I love it, man. That's how you got to do it.
Got to keep it rolling. All right, second question from Tony. Where is Rand Carthon?
He's in the witness protection program.
He's in parts unknown.
Robert Horner.
Hold on a second. Let me just say that I'm having some fun. That's a joke. Please don't take that personally. However, it would be nice to hear him speak at some point. After all, he helped put together this monstrosity.
He's going to speak after the season, George. That's what all general managers do. They don't do it during the season.
Kelly.
I'm just telling
we
you.
We used to hear from Floyd Reese all the time.
That's different, though.
And look at Barry Trotz.
Wait a minute. What do you mean? What do you mean it's different?
I'm just telling you, the teams that I was with, you never heard the general manager come out and say anything until before the draft. It's just what it was. Like the season was for. Now, if you guys had a different guy down here, Floyd Reese was different. He talked a bunch, but you don't really hear general managers come out and say anything.
But you don't think that wasn't good for building up what?
I'm not saying it was or not, but I just in my experiences, I never, in all the places that I was at, the general manager never spoke. He always left that to the head coach during the season because they're the ones that controlling the season. And then after that, then he's got to figure out the draft and where they're going in the draft, and that was how they did it.
Witness protection program.
Yes. From Robert Horner, grumpy old man listening in Biloxi, Mississippi. 2016.
Hello, Robert.
It was unfortunately Tech 38, Vanderbilt 7. No repeat, please. Yeah, that was ugly. Derek Mason and that Vanderbilt team got run off the field by the triple option. That was bad.
Bobby Dodd Stadium.
Yep.
Oldest Division I stadium, I believe, in the country.
That's a nice place to watch a game.
I loved the 2 years I worked there. Were a blast.
Are y'all going to the varsity before the game?
No, that's in Atlanta.
Oh, that's right. It's in Birmingham. I'm sorry. My fault. My fault. But have you been to the varsity, George? You have.
Absolutely.
I've been to
What
the
are you
varsity.
having? What are you having?
What are you having? Yeah.
That feels like you go back in time.
Oh, yeah.
That one in Atlanta.
That place has been there a long time.
Stormy. Rand Carthon is on Indeed updating and plagiarizing his resume.
Wow. It's a little harsh today. One day after Christmas.
I wonder who they get it from.
Man. Excuse me? Should we go to a break?
We should.
Okay. The commitment to excellence, Plaster Bet of the Day, continues on 94.9 The Fan.
Where can you see a saber-toothed tiger rappel from the rafters? How about a catfish fly? The biggest stars in Music City. Not to mention hockey's hottest ticket.
The Predators win!
Only in Smashville. See your Nashville Predators all season long at Bridgestone Arena. Single game tickets are on sale now at NashvillePredators.com. Let's go, Preds!
Star Physical Therapy was established in 1997 with one great mission: to serve. If you're hurting, don't wait to receive physical therapy. You don't need a referral to see their physical therapist, and early morning and evening appointments are available. Make the call to 615-673-1420 and get rid of that pain. Star Physical Therapy, the official health provider of Football Friday. This is my buddy Stan Harrison from Apple Collision Centers. Recently, you've been talking to me about companies that have a fleet of trucks and they're always in need of repairs.
That's right, George. We understand that nobody likes to deal with the auto body repair process. We try to simplify that at our 3 convenient locations. We work with all major insurance companies. We help to ease the stress of the auto body repair process. We're located in Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin. If you need our services, please stop by and see us.
And how convenient that we have that in the background. Now, seriously, these are good folks. They do really good work. Give them a holler.
Leisure's half off after Christmas sale going on now.
Up to half off on floor models, scratch and dented discontinued merchandise. Floor model and scratch and dent spas starting at only $29.99 with immediate delivery.
Enjoy the movie theater experience in the safety and comfort of your own home with theater seating for family leisure. 3-piece sets are only $9.99. Massage chairs are only $9.99 as well.
Family Leisure has air hockey and foosball tables in stock and on sale starting at just $1.99.
Family Leisure has 30 pool tables on display. Hundreds in stock for immediate delivery. Slate pool tables starting at just $19.99 installed.
Shuffleboard tables only $19.99 as well.
Family Leisure is kicking off pool sales now. 24-foot above ground pools start at only $29.99 installed.
That's Family Leisure's up to half off after Christmas sale going on now.
At both huge locations, Antioch and Franklin.
Family and fun come together. It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
Final segment on a Thursday on the final show of the week, broadcasting live from Battleground Academy for the battle for Nashville. Briarcrest and Webb Bell Buckle going at it right now. Pope Prep and Independence later tonight should be a good one. So they'll be rolling through the next couple of days. So it'll be good basketball if you want to come out and see. We've got the link to get tickets, to buy tickets on our Twitter, on your Twitter, George. So if anybody wants, they can check that out to go buy some tickets.
Beautiful.
Bet of the day brought to you by Bart Durham Injury Law is here, and we take a look at what happened. This was Monday night's game. The Packers just destroyed the Saints. They covered easily the minus 14. That had to have been the biggest line of the season, biggest spread of the season in the NFL, and they covered.
I think I'm right. The only shutout of the year in the NFL. By the way,
wow.
Did I tell you my record is 122, 104 with 3 ties? That is a commitment to excellence. Thank you.
Not too shabby.
No. By the way, Pittsburgh and Toledo tied at 30 in overtime. Kansas State, an early 3-0 lead. And Kelly, who are they playing?
Who'd you say? Sorry.
Kansas State, a 3-0 lead
they're
early.
Playing ruptures, son. They're playing ruptures. That's how Lou Holtz ruptures. We've won a national championship, but we're not as good as ruptures today.
No,
they're very good up front, son.
We're taking Seattle tonight at Soldier Field against the Bears for one reason. Have you seen the Bears lately? They suck. See you Monday. Until then, enjoy your holiday weekend.